Hello and welcome to Las Blancas Podcast.
Welcome back to another episode of Las Blancas. We had an El Clásico on a Saturday evening, a very nice fixture that sits in between two very tricky fixtures as well, and was going to be very decisive in terms of how the league race goes on. Uh, but yeah, I guess everyone listening has already watched the game or at least are aware of the result. We ended up losing 4-0. Uh, Two very late goals, honestly, not really representative of how the game was played out. And I think this Clásico was very different than every Clásico that has come before it. I think even neutrals were entertained with this because there was a lot of stuff happening on the pitch, not just football wise. We'll talk about that. We'll touch upon that. But I think like this was a fun game. Yes, we lost, but I think we could see the team trying. We could see some of the good ideas in play as well. And yeah, it was overall a very fun game, to say the least. So to break this game down, as always, I have Kanita with me. Kanita, how are you feeling about that game? The whole experience of almost over 100 minutes, almost 105 minutes of action. How are you feeling after that?
Dude, I'm very entertained. Honestly, I was very entertained. From the beginning to the end, sure, like at the time we conceded those two goals, and as you said, the scoreline itself is not really representative. I was really, bummed with the way that it ended with the score sheet. I mean, 2-0, fine. But with conceding those two goals in late, yeah, just sad. But yeah, it happens a lot with Barcelona, honestly. Not just against us, but again, yeah, generally. But what can you do? And yeah, I agree that it was different from other Clásicos. The atmosphere was different. They were different team, kind of, and yeah, I mean, it was very entertaining. I mean, football wise and otherwise, the drama wise, like there was so much going on, and we actually won a challenge. Quesada had one
Yeah.
challenge and finally did it right. So, yay! 15th of November 2025, the first successful challenge.
Yeah, and I mean it was actually a good challenge. We'll talk about that, what it led to and what it could have meant for the overall game as well had we managed to turn it into a goal. But yeah, let's start by talking about briefly about the lineups and then going into talking about that crazy first 10 minutes that we had in this game and the intensity there was. So we started in a 4-4-2 once again. Uh, I'll quickly read through the lineup. It was Misa in goal, Ewa Navarro as the right back, Lacrar and Mendes as the centre back partnerships, and Yasmin as the left back, as we expected. Uh, with a line of four that consisted of Caroline Weir starting on the right flank. Then it was Angeldal and Sara de Brits, and Lotte Keukelaar starting as the left midfielder, which was again a very pleasant surprise and something that we discussed in the previous one as well. That Quesada seems like he wants to give chance to these players. But we'll talk about her performance as well because it was an interesting one. Uh, and up front we had Linda and Naomi Feller. So that was again some interesting choices, but I felt like this was a team well built for transitions as well, because you have Linda running in behind, you have Feller making all sorts of runs, you have Kukelar who can make those runs, and then you have different providers in Eva Navarro, you have providers in Caroline Weir, Sara Debritz, all of them can create. So I actually liked the lineup. I did not have many complaints. Earlier when the lineups came out, like you could not make who will play where, or like my initial understanding was it's a 4-2-3-1 with Weir as the number 10 and Keukelaar playing on the right hand side, but that wasn't the case on the pitch. So that was the only surprise. But overall, no complaints. What did you make of the lineup, Kanita?
No, yeah, definitely same. I mean, the defense was expected, as you said. It seems that he prefers Yasmin, so starting her in this big game was expected. Also, with the available midfield, also expected, and I think the idea in the attack was to have Feller as that like center to cross to, because we obviously had our trusted right back, Ewa Navarro, who crosses a lot, and sometimes, even though Redondo would get those crosses, we would need someone, they're like more I guess skilled at that. So yeah, maybe that was the idea with Feller, but I'm not complaining at all. Like I saw the lineup, I thought it was 4-2-3-1 as well, honestly. But like you said, it's difficult to see where someone would play, and it was the only surprise was to see the sides that Linda and Keukelaar played on, because Linda played on the right and Keukelaar on the left. So if only they switched. I mean, yeah, they switched in the second half, but um yeah, it was something. But yeah, that's the only surprising thing about the lineup. I really liked it. I was really glad to see Kuklar start in a big game at that. It's a big moment, honestly, for her. So yeah.
Yeah, and I mean Linda too, like drifted and operated a lot. Linda had a fluid sort of role. Like both Linda and Feller were, sort of making the runs and operating wherever the ball was and wherever they could make runs in behind or just create some overloads. But I think like I'll quickly also go through Barcelona's lineup because it was an interesting one. Aitana Bonmati was not starting; she was on the bench. We spoke about how Patri was missing from this game to begin with. So it was Katakol in goal, Ona, Irene Paredes, Mapi Leon, and Esme Brooks as their backline, which has been pretty standard throughout the season. Then a midfield three of Laya Alexandri at the base, Vicky Lopez starting in place of Aitana, and Alexia obviously starting, and a front three of Caroline Graham Hansen, Pajor, and then Claudia Pina. So a pretty solid and very strong lineup. But again, a little surprise of Aitana not starting. Maybe looking ahead of the schedule that they are going to face Chelsea. So maybe looking ahead to that. But yeah, again, very strong lineup. No real thoughts on that, I would say. But when the game began, right from the very first minute, like Barcelona kicked it off, first attack, Alexia Putellas gets on the end of a cross, hits the post, and I'm like, okay, this is going to be a very long night because they are going to score inside the first 10 minutes, and it's going to be a very, very long night and a very difficult one. A couple of minutes later, we are through on goal. Like, Linda Caicedo picks up the ball and plays such a brilliant ball. Like, when she drifted out wide, I was thinking, okay, now she's going to run to the byline and try to cross the ball. But with just a little touch, she absolutely sliced through. Like, it was such a great pass. Had Callan Weir not been offside, dude, that was so good. And Callan Weir obviously put the ball in the back of the net. So, in 3 minutes, it was basically Real Madrid 1-0 up, but it was offside, so it was called off. But what a ball that was. Once again, a few minutes later, Linda Caicedo gets running on the left hand side, plays the ball across, and Naomi Feller tries to attack it, gets almost in front of it, has the shot saved, and then tries to put the ball over the line, but doesn't succeed. Barcelona keep coming at us. They create. So it was such an intense end-to-end action. It felt like after that first minute where there were initial worries about this game ending in a big way in favor of Barcelona. That changed quite quickly. It felt like we had a game on our hands. Like, what were your thoughts on that opening 10 minutes? Because after that, there was a different story about what all was happening on the pitch as well. But the first 10 minutes were crazy.
I know the game started, and after like 4 minutes, I was like, "It's been only 4 minutes. They've been going at it crazy. Like there was already a chance in an old goal, and in the next 6 minutes there was another big chance and another an goal. And I was like, if these are the first 10 minutes, what's the rest of the game?" Honestly, it was an introduction to the shithousery and that that happened in this match. Insane, like so entertaining, such a it's like something that you expect from a Clásico, like from the entire atmosphere. Obviously, like so good. And it got me pumped. Those first 10 minutes got me so pumped. Like, oh my god, are we genuinely like going like this? Like, we had that goal, and like you described it, like what a fantastic pass. And there were also some good combinations there, like very quickly. And then that chance with Feller, that ended up being saved just before the goal line. I mean, it was crazy, so quick. And like, so, oh my god, I started screaming, and I was like, okay, this is going to be good. I'm going to be entertained, and boy, I was entertained. So yes.
We were going blow for blow with Barcelona, and that was a very refreshing thing to watch. In the past we have seen how our team falls into a shell and tries to give Barcelona too much quote unquote respect for them to do anything. But I think this was nice to see them go at them, try to attack them from minute one, try to create those opportunities and be brave in those attacking situations. That was really good to watch. But as is as is the case in most of these games against Barcelona, where the opponent is trying to be brave, we very soon conceded to Ewa Pajor. Some brilliant stuff there on the left hand side, on their left hand side by Claudia Pina, who cuts the ball inside, and Ewa Pajor just does Ewa Pajor things and score once again. So 15 minutes in, and Barcelona are already 1-0 up. And at that point, I was like, okay, I mean, 10 minutes of good resistance, 10 minutes of good play. Is that all we are going to get? But I think after that game, after that goal, we quickly saw a lot of things happening. So she scored in the 15th minute. Then Barcelona started attacking quite a bit. In the 21st minute, she had the ball in the back of the net once again. And this is where all the drama, starts. Basically, this game starts to get really feisty and everything. So she goes down, the ball hits her hand, and she somehow manages to still put the ball in. And there's a lengthy VAR delay on that one, a very lengthy one. We had 11 minutes in the second half added on, and in the first half we had 5 minutes added on. So like we had 16 minutes in total added on in this game. So you can understand how much stoppage we had. And you know that happened, and pretty sure like it was a very simple and straightforward handball. Like it was clearly a handball. Like when it happened, while it happened the first time, I was like, okay, this is a handball, it can't be a goal. And then they gave the goal and then pulled it back. I'm like, okay, I don't get it, but it was very evidently it was handball. What did you make of that? Handball for you?
Yeah, it's a handball. I mean, she controlled it with her arm, so but it was so funny. It was first the assistant referee was watching it on the screen for a long time, and they kept showing the main ref just chilling there in the center, and waiting for the decision. And then like yeah, and the time passed, and then she was called to the main referee, and then the main ref go, and then uh, they watched it together all over again. I was like, I don't know why are we watching this all over again. Is that not a clear handball? Like that's crazy. Yeah, and like I don't know. And even the commentators were saying, yeah, it's a handball. And mind you, the commentators were very cool, you know. But yeah, it's so obvious. And oh, yeah, another little thing. In the first half, it was 7 minutes at time. In the second half, it was 11 minutes. So yeah, 18 in total. By the time, it's one long game.
And as I mentioned, like this event was sort of the canon event for everything that unraveled in this game, because this thing happens in the 21st minute. Then there's a little incident for a throw in where Ewa Navarro is going for the ball, Alexia Putellas is going for the ball, and
Mm.
I did not get what Alexia was trying to do. Like it was
Yeah,
outside, just let Eva take the ball.
it's
She
so
has a
tasteless. I don't know.
yeah, then she picks the ball up, uh, swirls it around and throws it back outside and earns herself a yellow card. And I'm like, okay, this is going to get quite intense now, because
Yeah.
it was very early on. Like it was in the 25th minute or something, I think. Yeah, it was in the 28th minute. I'm just checking. It was 28th minute. I'm like, we are like just 30 minutes in. We are just a third of the game in, and all of this is happening already. That means, like, that there was something playing on their mind as well. Yes, we lost 4-0. Yes, we have lost most of the class, almost every Clásico that we have played against them. So yeah, but that, I think that one win that we had last season had a minute impact on them that made this rivalry even more fierce, I think. uh, and this one felt like the Clásico finally was one of those intense drama filled Clásico, because after that, that Alexia yellow card, Pajor scored again, once again, right place, right time. uh Calvin Graham Hansen puts the ball from the right hand side. Misa parries it. Like, it was very difficult because it took a deflection of Yasmin as well. So, and then Ewa Pajor once again being there, chesting the ball inside, just doing what she does best, basically. And I was like, okay, she's going to score a first half hat trick, and we are going to have to suffer once again with Ewa Pajor's brilliance. But the first half ended 2-0 in favor of Barcelona. And then began the second half, which was an absolute, you know, mind, like I'm not going to hold back, absolute clusterfuck of a game. Like, it was crazy, the things that were happening. I'll quickly go. Like, there were, I think, 8 yellow cards in this game. Yes, there were
Mhm.
8 yellow cards, 6 for us. One of them, one yellow card was awarded in the first half. Then 52nd minute, Yasmin gets a yellow card. 53rd minute, Dabritz gets a yellow card. 88th minute, Sheila Garcia gets a yellow card. 89th minute, Irune gets a yellow card for argument. 90 plus 2, Ewa Navarro gets a yellow card. 90 plus 6, Pau Comendador gets a yellow card. It was all happening, and this is just us. Like, them as well. The Clara came on for them, and the first action that she did was trying to strangle Misa when she had the ball. Like, this game and this is coming at a point where they're already 2-0 up. So it was crazy game. It was a crazy game. And let's talk about the second half a little more briefly. But Kanita, what are your thoughts on the second half as a whole? Like, all the events that happened in it, what did you make of it?
Um, Okay, there were two more cards, but they aren't really like officially put because they weren't players. But two staff members got red cards. One from Barcelona, one from Real Madrid. It was
Yeah,
so
yeah,
funny.
yeah.
So yeah, there were two
Uh,
more cards, and
there was
yeah, it
this
was
there was this physio as well, Barcelona physio,
yes,
who after we were awarded the penalty, which we'll talk about shortly, he was mocking the referee about something, and the referee
oh,
went
that's
on and so
why.
I'm like, what even is happening here? And it all felt like, yes, it was intense, it was so fun to watch, but I'm like, why are you doing, you're 2-0 up. Like, we we are not challenging your goal at this point. Like, we are struggling sort of to create some really good meaningful chances. What are you trying to do? But it was fun, like it added to the fun, I would say.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, share your thoughts on that.
Yeah, you know, those first two yellows for us. It was inside like a couple of minutes, maybe. It was both on Pina, fouls on Pina. And I'm like, okay, you can't touch Pina, no, stuff like that, you know. It's just pure shithousery and stuff. And you know, you mentioned yellow for Irune. This one was so funny. Shay made a foul. The free kick was
Yeah.
awarded to them, and she said something, and she got a yellow. And I'm like, you know what? Put Runa in every El Clásico. I need her. You know, this this girl is so fun for me. Just put her in. And it's so like I don't know, it just went off in the second half. And just like, you know, they were 2-0 up. For some reason, we got into their head somehow. Like I don't understand what was in their heads.
But it clearly was, I mean, something was up. Like, I think they were playing with a mark on their back from the previous Clásico that we somehow managed to beat them. But I think it made for a very fun viewing. I am not complaining. I think this is going to even just add more to the rivalry every time we face them now. And I hope, like, yes, we lost this one, we have lost every other one except for the previous Clásico, but I feel like, if we can get one or two wins here and there, this becomes a really intense rivalry that it was always meant to be when it started. Yes, we were 3 steps behind them, and we are still probably a step or a half behind them. But I feel like the idea of us catching up to them is very appealing, and that is sort of something that they are trying to fight off by all this. So I don't know, I'm just maybe looking too much into it. Maybe there's nothing, maybe there was just the intensity of the game. But yeah, let's talk about the drama that actually ensued in the second half in more detail in the 76th minute. So we have made a bunch of substitutions, we have made a lot of changes. Yasmin has gone off, Feller has gone off, Atenea has come on, Keukelaar has gone off, Redondo has come on, Irune, Pau Comendo, all are on now. And there comes a cross from a corner situation. We put in the ball. Katakol comes out to try to collect it. That does not happen. Like, she spills the ball. Atenea is behind her. She touches the ball, and then Katakol goes at her legs and fouls her basically. At that point in time when it first happened, I was like, okay, maybe not much, because I could not see the first touch taking the ball away. But when the replay showed it, I think it was a very clear penalty. Like, it was like the ball was away and Katakol was clearly going at her legs. What did you make of that for a penalty for you?
Yeah, honestly, same as you. I didn't see it at first. It felt like Atenea tripped or something more, as you know. But yeah, the replay showed a different thing. And it's funny because I was listening to the commentators and they said that they saw Quesada just saying clarissimo. I know, like a very clear penalty, and that's when I knew, yes, we're getting a challenge. Yes, and we got a challenge, and we won it for the first time. So yes.
And actually a very brilliant challenge, because we were 2-0 down at that point. It's the final 15 minutes. We get a penalty after a very lengthy review, and there's a lot of tension flaring. After this point, I think everything just unraveled completely, because we have this penalty decision coming on. Players are fighting. There's something going on at the penalty spot.
Yeah, I
Then
think the Barca players were like kicking at the penalty spot or something like that. They were like weren't
hmm,
letting us take it or something. The Kata was laughing the whole time while the decision was going on, and while they were looking at the, and then she was laughing, and then the decision was taken. There was the whole commotion there, and something like I don't know. There was like something. Someone, I think Aitana, or I don't know, like just drew Pau away from there, like just pushed her away and was like, "Why are you pushing a child away from there?" It's so weird and it's so crazy. Like, what the hell? And at some point, I saw Redondo holding the ball. I was like, "Why is Redondo holding?" But in the end, she gave it to Weir, and I was like, "Okay." Like, it was so weird in the whole thing.
and then Callan Weir steps up and unfortunately gets. I mean, I don't know what it was, but sometimes when they focus the camera too much on the player, you can just feel if they're going to score or not.
Yeah,
And it felt like she wasn't going to score this one.
yeah,
Somehow there was something going on, and she did not, like, Kata Cole saved it. But I'm going to start a new controversy. None of her feet were on the line when the shot was taken, actually. And I was expecting that to go to VAR once again, because the goalkeeper needs to have at least 1 foot on the line, or
yeah,
like some part of the foot on the line. But they showed the angle from behind the goal, and none of her feet were like on the line, which was, I'm not big on this thing. Like, we ended up losing 4-0, but maybe that penalty should have been retaken. I don't know. Did you see that?
yeah, later on in the game, they just, there were chances later on in the game, and they kept showing that from behind, from inside the goal, there was a camera inside the goal. And yeah, it showed clearly that in the moment that Weir shot the ball from the penalty spot, it didn't seem like Kata's like either of the feet were on the line, and it did spark a controversy on social media. I already
Of
saw it,
course.
people talking about it. So yeah, it is already something. And like Barcelona fans saying, "Ah, my God, but you robbed the last match," nah, nah, nah. And like Madridistas are like, "You robbed every other match," and then so the classical, yes, exactly. Atmosphere, post game, and so ooh,
Yeah, it's I think the bad refereeing decision is what adds to the drama as well. Like
yes,
last time as well, when we won, it was like, oh, that was not an offside, not even in a million years. What happened was a robbery in a daylight, and Madrid needed referees to win, and all of that.
yes,
And like, these are bad decisions. Like, you can't defend. It wasn't an offside the last time we beat you guys. Yes, very clearly it wasn't. But I think this time as well, like, it was a penalty. It was a handball on Ewa Pajor. And I think this penalty save was at least contentious. Like, I think it
yeah,
should have been a retaken penalty, but it's all in the past now. No point in arguing. And then Barcelona scored twice after the 90th minute. Sydney Schertenleib came on.
yeah,
She scored after we lost the ball cheaply at the back. Poor ball loss from Irune, actually.
yeah,
So not the best. And then Mapi Leon puts the ball in, and Aitana Bonmati gets in on the score sheet as well after coming off the bench. So two goals, two very late goals, which sort of skews the score line a little bit. But I think at one point until the 76th minute, this game looked like it could be going on, like heading towards a box office finish. That did not arrive
Mm.
actually. But it was a very fun game. Like so far, we have just like sort of recapped the game, but I think let's next up we can talk about the actual talking points in the game. Like the game was so fun that we had to sort of recap it, the drama, the VAR decisions, the everything. And just from the fact that there were 11 minutes added in the second half, you can
Mm.
understand how much delay there was, because that penalty decision took a long while for them to decide. They kept going on and on and on about those replays, watching it from different angles. And for me, it was a penalty because the ball, Atenea had managed to kick the ball away. So the ball was gone, and then Kata went at her feet. So I think it was a clear penalty. But yeah, let's get started talking about the actual tactical points that we liked, or there were the main tactical talking points in the game. So let's begin by talking about the things that we liked from this game, because if you look at the numbers, and the numbers are sort of, some of those numbers are actually like surprising. Yes, Barcelona dominated the ball. Yes, they had 65% of the possession. They had more shots. They had more shots on target and everything. But I was just looking at the action areas of the game. So like where a lot of the action happened on the pitch, and 36%, which was the most, happened in Barcelona's third, which is sort of surprising. Like only 29% of the action happened in our third, and the rest was outside. So yes, Barcelona they won 4-0, but we somehow managed to make a lot of their play and a lot of their actions happen outside of our defensive third, which leads me directly into talking about what actually worked for us, or what actually I liked about this. We can talk about how much it worked or how much it did not actually. But I really enjoyed our press in this game. I felt like we were committing a lot of numbers up front, and it was actually working. Like we went player for player up front. We committed almost 6 7 players. At points there was just Angeldal staying back, or at points there were even Angeldal was joining up, or Angeldal was staying back, and Yasmin would push up really high on the left hand side, or Ewa Navarro would push up really high on the right hand side to try to create those numerical advantages for us, and trying to create those turnovers. And I think it reflects in numbers as well. If we look at our PPDA as well, which is passes per defensive action, so it was just 8, I think. And that was that is commendable, playing against a side that is as possession heavy and as dominant on the ball as Barcelona is. So that was really nice to see. Plus I think the reason I'm talking about our press being that good is, if you look at uh, the match stats from this game, which should be on your screen right now. If you look at the dangerous ball losses, which is basically any unsuccessful pass, any failed dribble, or a poor touch, or basically a turnover that happens in the defensive 40% of the pitch, Barcelona had 36 of those events. So like we were forcing them to make poor passes. We were forcing them to take a bad touch. We were cramping them to play it long, play it quickly, and play it out. And that really worked for us. And if you look at the match stats here, it's actually not, you know we don't look like we were completely dominated, because we weren't. And I think that is the best part about this. Like we created chances. You look at our average defensive action height as well, like where our most of our defensive actions took place, and it's 43 yards from our goal, which is higher than Barcelona. So that tells you how much of a good press we actually managed to pull off. And it wasn't like it was just in the first 10 minutes, 15 minutes. It was a clear idea that happened throughout the game, even in the 90 minutes when we are 1 or 2 nil down, 3 nil down. We were still going up, we were still trying to press them, which for me was a really really positive thing to watch in this game. And I think if we continue this, we can actually, like, against big teams, we can cause a lot of problems. Yes, this was Barcelona. They have some of the most press resistant players in the world, so they were able to sometimes find solution and break through. But I think for most of the teams, we would cause problems playing like that, taking a player to player approach, and pushing bodies as high up as possible, and trying to just win the ball back very high up. Kanita, what did you make of the press before we move on to, because I have another viz as well, which supports our claim about our press being quite good. What did you make of our pressing scheme in this game?
It you said that it was quite consistent, and I love that he went with the idea he started with, because it was apparent that it looked good. It was well, let's say working. I mean, the goals were, yeah, but football wise, it was was confident. They looked very confident with the press. The first time we saw us pressing, like, but it was like really really directly, like it was that Champions League game in the 2022, and like in El Clásico, obviously the press in El Clásico. But this was so different. It was like confident, organized, and it wasn't like okay, we can do this for just some specific time, and like just go all in with the press, and then like just plummet down with the energy and just can't go on anymore, and give them the control, which this wasn't the case. It was kind of consistent. And the subs that he made were also apparent that he wasn't changing that idea. Was kind of he wasn't really changing the formation or like kind of thing. We were at some point, we were getting the both wingers like on the one side to like support that's how we also like broke down further into their third. And I mean, it was, I don't know, it was really something like was really confidently going up. You could see Lacra like going up there, and it was like we weren't scared of anything. We weren't scared that they would recover the ball and just go all in. We wouldn't say, oh no. A couple of times it did happen, like after a corner they did a very quick counter attack, but it was actually Keukelaar and Linda in the end who made the defensive actions to save, and with Misa and then as well, like the Kuka, and then Linda made a tackle, and with the Misa finishing off the save. It was like, it's always kind of, we had a plan B. We didn't panic. We're going all in when we're going one, with one idea and we're not really looking at, okay, we can't really stop them if they're going. No, we can't stop them, it's fine, we'll reorganize and stuff. So yeah, it was really good to see us confident in El Clasico.
Yeah, and talking about the press as well, we can look at our ball recovery map as well, which we spoke about how high we were doing our actions. We spoke about how high our average defensive actions were. We had 43 recoveries in this game, and 25 of them came in the opposition half. So it tells you that we were pushing high up, we were trying to win the ball very high up and then create chances from that. So we were committing a lot of bodies. Most of the times you would see Alexia Putellas very far back behind because we have overloaded them with numbers. So she has to drop in and try to level those numbers up. And there's also something very interesting in here as well. If I can show you. So, this area, basically like a lot of the recoveries, and in this wide area as well, there are a lot of recoveries. So, this is where we were targeting to win, because if you look at the defensive third where the recoveries have come, it's a bit random. It has come in the middle. They haven't come in these wide areas. But when you look in the opposition half, it was a clear plan that most of our recoveries have come in these wide areas where, we would just cramp them. Our fullback would push up. There would be our winger who would try to block them, and then our midfielders would also go that side. So at one point we were pressing with as many as 7 players, which is crazy to think about. There was just the far sided fullback and our center backs who were behind, and everyone else was pushed high up. We were taking that risk that, okay, if a transition happens, we'll probably commit a foul or something, but we will go at them. And I absolutely love that. I think that was a really big positive that we have to give credit to Quesada for, because it was very fun to watch. Now, this was the positive, but I think there was one more thing that that did not really sit well with me, was Lotte Keukelaar starting as the left winger, or the left midfielder, whatever you want to call. I feel like she's wasted there, honestly. Like, she doesn't get to showcase her full strength. She becomes very predictable because she'll go down the right flank, on the left side, and then everyone knows that her right foot is her dominant foot, so she'll cut back, or she can only go one side from there. But when she's playing on the right hand side, she can go inside, she can cut on the outside, and she can, with her dominant foot, she can immediately put the ball across. And I think that is what we were missing. And I think later on we saw Esme Brooks getting injured as well. So if she was struggling early on with some fitness issues as well, having Keukelaar against her from the very start would have also benefited her, because Keukelaar has great change of pace. She can go at the defender quite often. So you want to attack those weaker areas. I hope Brooks is okay and she recovers well. But that was clearly an area of concern. But we had Keukelaar on her weaker foot going at Ona, who is again a very good all action defender. So that did not really help. And I think he has done it now a couple of times to put her on the left hand side where it hasn't worked. So I did not like it. What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it felt like her spark is dimmed out on the left, honestly. It's I don't know, it's like you said, she's just wasted there. You don't really feel her energy that well, and I don't know, like starting her on in a big game and then starting her on the wrong flank, and you have Linda, you play her with Linda, and they could have been easily been switched. Honestly, they were switched in the second half, but it was for only what 9 minutes until the sub. So yeah, we didn't really even get to see them much there. Not a lot was happening in those 9 minutes, like action wise. There were like a couple of times where you could see both Linda and Kukelar on the same flank. We would just switch to one flank and leave Beer and Eva alone on the right. So yeah, it was weird. It's I don't know why he he's doing this. She's young and she's obviously much better, you know, on the other ones. And so, yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. She's a really fun player, but she can't really show her and like entertain us with her geniusness or whatever like this.
Yeah, honestly, like I've seen managers do it playing wingers with on the opposite flank of their dominant foot so that they can cut in, and you have your fullbacks attacking those spaces, and then trying to cross the ball from the half spaces over the top of defenses. But this was clearly not the plan here. I don't know, like that was one of the big complaints, because I think like Keukelaar would have been so very effective coming up against brutes, that it would have made a significant change to the entire game basically. But yeah, I mean, it's all ifs and buts at this point. The end story is that the scoreline was 4-0. We ended up losing. The points gap is back to 7 points. And honestly, like this November is not looking great. The only hope now remains from the Arsenal game. Can we, exorcise some of our uh, last season's demons? Can we finally get over them and get some win? A big win against them would be fun. But yeah, let's see what happens in that. We'll try to get some guest on for that one. We'll try to make it as fun as possible, because I think it will be a fun game. It will definitely be a fun game. Arsenal play in the North London derby against Spurs this weekend before our matchup, so it will be fun to see how we cope. And I think if we press the way we did in this game, I think it can result in some really good sequences for us. So let's see, what's in store. A very fun Clásico finally. I think Clásicos are going to be much more entertaining, much more intense, and everything just heightened by 10 times, just because it's a Clásico. There will be VR drama, referee drama at all times, and I think it's going to make for a very fun viewing moving forward. Like, I think we would walk into Clásicos knowing that the result is some going to be 3-0, 4-0, and it's going to be a very bad, dire performance. But I think I look forward to Clásicos now. Like, I think
Mm.
even if we are going to perform like that, I think that win will come, and I think we will go toe to toe with them. So that is a big positive, and I think that is the biggest compliment I can give to Quesada, that this team feels like they are not afraid of Barcelona anymore. They are going at them. They want to play their brand of football and impose themselves on Barcelona, which is a big positive. So yeah, hopefully that continues. Hopefully we get good results. It's no, it is what it is for this one. But hopefully the Champions League brings some good times for us. Any wrapping thoughts, Kanita, or we can just call it a day?
Uh, I just want to say, the official MVP was Ewa Pajor, and obviously the Brace, but I feel like they got it wrong, Eva. For me, it was Eva. She, man, I love that woman. She was so good in the defending, man. Yeah, she was so good. Just yeah, I think it's time to just change her spot in the convocatoria to just put her in defenders because she's our trusted right back now. We got Shay come on and she came on for Yasmin. So
Yeah, she was playing on the left hand side,
yeah,
which speaks volume that uh how much she has cemented her place as the right back, and I think she's enjoying it as well, and that is why it's working.
yes. Yes, she's really feeling herself on there, and I love that for her. Since the beginning, we noticed that Quesada had like an affinity towards Eva like, since the preseason,
Yeah, since the very
and
start.
when we lost our right back, she had to play as right back, and she's actually cemented herself on that position. Like that's crazy. Love that. Love that. These pods have just became, aside from Weir's World and Caicedo's Corner, we also have, I don't know, Eva Navarro or something. Man, she's brilliant.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, uh she has been like, she has taken to this role like nobody else. Like, I think we can call it Navarro's Nook or something. I don't know.
Oh yes, no man.
Yeah, it's a quiet place where we talk about Eva Navarro's transformation into a right back. But yeah, I hope that continues in the same vein as well. And I think, if nothing, we would be thanking Pau Quesada for Eva Navarro's transformation. But yeah, it's been very positive. So yeah, I think that is about it for this one. We will be back for the Arsenal game, and hopefully, by the end of it, we are happy and we get a positive result, because there have been decent performances in these last two games, but the results have not come. So hopefully, third time's the charm. So yeah, until next time, Hala Madrid.
Real Madrid.